in addition to that, we're going to go into some more light-hearted questions. We asked you some very intensive questions. We're going to ease you up a little bit. We know you're tired. It's 4 or 5 hours time difference. The Euros, the Copa Centenario is done. If you had to choose between the two, which one you thought was, in your eyes at least, you don't have to go into too much detail, but which one you enjoyed more? None. You like the Gold Cup?
I think no. No. I'll tell you what. I think the South American teams look better. I think they look technically better. The pace of the game. I looked at the pace of I think was Peru playing Brazil, and I looked at the pace of that game. I'm like, oh my God! I wonder if I could play that kind of pace, back then, and it was so technical. Everyone has a good touch. Everyone fit. Everyone's strong. They're keeping the ball well. It really surprised me how good they were. The Euros, on the other hand, there were so many games that were, just mundane and, even bordering on boring, and I just think the standard in general at the Copa was better than the Euros. I think it's better. I think it was better.
I'm in full agreement with you because the likes of Ecuador, Colombia, and Peru, compared to 10 years ago or 5 years ago, the level of play has improved a lot. So it's a much more even game in CONMEBOL. But I have a question for you. Do you think that the Copa America and our CONCACAF Gold Cup should be amalgamated? Do you think that they should be combined to one tournament for the future?
I think it could be a good idea. It's an interesting idea. I think we do need to be careful with that because, do we really want to combine? Do we really want to lose our identity? CONCACAF. Do you really want to lose our identity? I think there also could be a lot of lopsided games, as we saw. Imagine Mexico got beat 7-0. 7-1, I think, or something like that. Mexico is a powerhouse in CONCACAF. The United States got destroyed, from Argentina. So, they lost 4-0, I think it was, but it's really 7-0. Really, they lost. When you look at the game.
Yeah.
So, do we really want lopsided games like that? Eventually, we'll improve and we get close to that level, but I think we should keep our own identity, and I think maybe what could happen, something like the CONCACAF champions could play the Copa champions, and I think that will be a closer game, and so forth. I don't think personally that they should combine the two. I don't think so. Let's be honest here. Trinidad playing Argentina, if they're really up for it, we could be embarrassed. Honestly, we could really be embarrassed. So. You don't really want to see, 6 and 7-0s and so forth. You don't really want to see it.
It benefits no one when they level it's that huge. So I agree. I think that's a very good approach.
Yeah.
Another. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, another question is that everybody's talking about the Euros. So now Portugal has won the Euros. And we know the story about Messi. They lost the final. Messi has retired. There's a lot of chaos in the AFA. But the eternal argument, which I personally am not a huge fan of, but do you think now there's a trend of thought that because Ronaldo has won an international title, that he has now surpassed Messi? Do you agree with that?
No. I think, Messi's a better player. Listen, at the end of the day, people have their opinions and so forth. My opinion is Messi is a better player. And if I'm being blunt, I don't even think there should be an argument. But Cristiano Ronaldo, he's one of the top players of his generation. He's a goal scoring machine. But I just think Messi gives the team more. He's involved with the play more. He's not as selfish. He gets his teammates involved more. I think he's the better player. Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo is a better goal scorer, but he also had great goal scorers in history. Gerrit Muller and them boys were those guys were you know deadly finishers. With unbelievable goal scoring records. I think Messi's the better player. I think Messi's the better
No, God!
player.
Interesting.
So yeah, with Kenwyne Jones, 10 years ago, you saw a young Kenwyne Jones in training before the dreadlocks. Do you think that his career path and projection was what it could have been? And what traits did he express in training that were you impressed with 10 years ago?
No, Kevin was a young, enthusiastic player with a good attitude, and always got along really, really well with Kevin. He I think he was humble. I don't think he had an ego or anything, back then at all. He was a hard worker. I know the manager liked him. They all liked him. He was young, obviously. I think he's had a decent career. I think he's done well for himself. He's played for good clubs here in England. He's joined clubs, especially that uses his qualities and so forth. And I think he's done well for himself. I think he's really done well for himself. Obviously, he's approaching a point in his career now where it comes and it ends quickly. So, he's probably approaching that point now with, but he's a fit guy, so, you could expect him to play another, I would say maybe 3 years at a good level. I could see him playing 3 more years at a good level. It's up to him, how long he wants to play for. How old is he? Maybe 30 now or something like that. So, he could still play at a good level for a long time. He's not had big injuries, which is important. So, he's not had any big injuries. So, as long as he stays away from injury, he could play for a time yet.